My name is Kenyon Gibby, and I want to talk to you about my journey through the organizational leadership program. Prior to taking the applied major courses, I would have considered myself an average, maybe even below average leader. I didn't really know that much about leadership. I didn't really have a lot of leadership experience. I hadn't really held a whole lot of leadership roles. So I really just was inexperienced as a leader, and I didn't really know that much about leadership. I knew that there were some great leaders out there, Martin Luther King Jr. being one great leader that we can remember in the last 50 so years. I knew that leaders, in my mind at the time, leaders needed to be able to connect with people. They needed to be charismatic. They needed to be able to communicate well with others to gain followers. And I found out going to the program that that wasn't necessarily true. That a vision and a leadership is important, and being able to gain followers is important, but it doesn't have to be through big speeches or a big movement. That a leader, any person can be a leader within their organization by just leading by example. And I think that that was something that I learned in the first course, Issues in Organizational Leadership. That course gave me the building blocks of leadership. I learned the theories of leadership, starting with the great man theory that said that or the trait theory, that there was one person who had all of these specific traits, and that's what made them a great leader. And then that transitioned to the behavioral theory of leadership that stated that specific behaviors exhibited by a person is what made them a great leader. And then that transitioned into the subsequent leadership theories after that. But I think that course gave me the building blocks of what leadership was and how leadership was important within organizations, and how leaders can lead and be effective in organizations by connecting with people and broadcasting a vision to others. It also talked about the issues in organizational leadership, things like or issues in organizations like leaders that have or make bad decisions, or I would say bad ethical decisions. I can think of one main one would be Hitler, Adolf Hitler, who was a leader and was able to gain many followers through his movement, but he made bad ethical decisions and led these people into a bad era and bad choices. The next course was data-driven decision making. This course really opened my eyes to just how useful data can be within organizations. Looking at big data and all of the data that we can get from within our organizations, data for sales, data for employee and customer retention. We can look at sales data for future forecasting and find trends in this data to forecast when we need to order more products. As far as seasons, different seasons of the year produce different trends in data. Looking at a water park is going to have more summer customers than obviously winter customers, because people like to go to the water park in the summer. Well, we can gather that data, and that data can be utilized to make big decisions within organizations. The next course was Behavior, Ethics, and Leadership, and this was two-part course. Was a little different. The first part focused mainly on ethics and ethical decision making, and the approaches to view ethics. And I learned that the ethical decisions we make within our organizations can impact our organizations and the public greatly. Looking at the Ford Pinto case, it really opened my eyes to just how important it is to make good ethical decisions within our organizations, because it can impact people greatly. That many lives were lost because of the decisions that were made during that time with that organization. And so that course really really helped me open my eyes to just how important it is to make ethical decisions within our organizations. And the second part of that course really focused on leadership, and it really dove down into the theories and the styles of leadership. That was where that class really helped me get a greater knowledge of the different theories and the different styles of transactional and transformational leadership and coaching style of leadership, and all the different styles of leadership that can be utilized in different situations by different people, and can have different outcomes depending on the situation. The next course was leadership theory, and this course focused on management. And I think what I learned from this course is how management and leadership intertwine and how they work together. I'm looking at different management perspectives and leadership perspectives. Leaders are trying to connect with people within the organization and broadcast a vision and gain followers to promote good health of the organization, while managers are working to control the processes and control what outcomes of these processes are about. The next course was leading change. This course really it opened my eyes to the change management process. I learned a lot about the change management process and how change needs to be brought about within an organization. I'm looking at what tools we can use to assist in going through the change management process, like unfreezing and refreezing, utilizing that to a resistance to change. I learned about resistance to change and how we can utilize people within the organization that are less reluctant to change, and utilizing those people to help with the people who are less likely to change or more reluctant to change. The next course was the capstone courses. These courses really helped me grasp all of the knowledge together. It allowed me to look back over each course and remember everything that I had learned throughout the whole program. I was able to advance my research abilities. I had to be able to go back through each class and not relearn, but just go back through and refresh on everything that I had learned through each class. And I think that was one of the biggest things I got from the capstone courses. Looking back, who am I as a leader today? I think, when I look back at before I had taken the applied major courses, I actually was a decent leader then. I just didn't know it. I didn't really know what made a great leader. I knew that there were great leaders out there, but I didn't think that I was a great leader. And so looking back, I know now that I actually was a decent leader, that I led by example. I always would try to be the best that I could be within every organization, and I would strive to make good ethical decisions, and other people would end up following me because of it. They saw that I was successful and that I did well within my organizations, and so they would follow me because of that. And at the time, I didn't really see that I was a great leader. I didn't think that I was a good leader. And looking back, I see that I just didn't have the knowledge. And now, looking at myself, I see that I have gained this knowledge, and I know what makes a good leader, and I know some of the mistakes that I've made. Trying to communicate well with others. That's one of the biggest things I've gained from this program, is understanding how to communicate with people and how to gain followers by being accepting and understanding of people. And every person is different. We're all different, and we all have different personality traits and different characteristics that make us us. And so you have to be able to understand what makes them who they are, how their communication style, how do they communicate. And so being able to connect with people in a way that that they understand. And so that's me as a leader now. I feel like I can look at people and try to find out how I can best communicate with them and show them demonstrate a vision for them so that I can lead forward and gain followers going forward. And where do I go from here as a leader? I feel like I'm starting a new position in a new organization. And so for me going forward, I need to find leaders in my new organization, established leaders, and find out how they've led in their organization, in their industry or in this industry, and find out, what made them successful, and use them as, as resources and as mentors, and be able to grow my, my abilities as a leader, and gain more skills, and grow my skills, and so that I can help others in the future and empower others to make great leaders for the future.